Johnson, do you like my Christmas hat?
Oh,
nice, isn't it? Very nice. Here's Shaq. I love the sweater. That is very, very impressive. And Kenny, you should have worn a shirt. I don't know. It's Christmas season.
The mic pack.
Come on.
Look at it. Look at it. You can die and I've been eating.
And it is Magic basketball tonight as the Orlando Magic go up against...
Sports.
What an honor. I've been waiting for the invite for years.
And we've been waiting for the acceptance. Thanks for joining us.
Now, let's do this.
Well, Philadelphia 76ers preparing to defend home court in this Eastern Conference battle. And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge on the sideline. David?
Guys, Joel Embiid is listed at 7 feet, but at player introductions, they say 7'2" center, Joel Embiid. Now, Brett Brown says when you stand next to him, you understand the difference between 7 feet and 7'2". He's a big man, Kevin.
He is tremendous size and skill to match GA. Thanks. You know, Bill, when you look at the players the Sixers have put together, they should be a perennial contender, it would seem, on paper for years to come.
But that's the thing about the NBA. You never know. Yeah. We've seen a lot of these teams that looked like they were the next potential dynasty, and within 2 years, they made a trade, somebody got hurt. I mean, you talk about the 80s Rockets, you talk about the Magic in the 90s, they made the finals. Within 14 months, that whole team is gone. The OKC Thunder, 2012, Game 5, Miami. I took a picture of KD and Harden and Westbrook with their arms around each other. They never played together again. So I think the thing you learn over and over again with basketball, even Derrick Rose and the Bulls, every time you think there's the next team that's coming, they still have to actually do it, and sometimes they don't.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. On the court for Orlando. Gordon down low with Bamba next to him. Fultz is out there with money, and it's Isaac in the small forward. Kenny gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up.
And you know, the attack from Gordon, his explosive first step on his drives to the hoop, really scary.
Orlando shooting their first free throws of the game. No good on that. Good on the second free throw.
Gotta stay active when Gordon's out there. I mean, his ability to make something out of nothing is huge for this team.
Stolen by Bamba. Here's Money. Connects from three-point range.
And guys, this is what you like to see early on, gaining a little confidence from range.
Yeah, and you know it, Greg. Oftentimes you get that first one to drop and your confidence rises like yeast. It's good to get into a rhythm at the start of the game, no doubt.
He feeds it to Gordon. Played in with a nice touch off the glass.
The inside is where Gordon is really most comfortable and effective. Very few defenders can get to a shot given how high he gets up on it.
Picked his pocket. Here's Money. That one goes in. Money's got his second basket of the night. And let's get your guys' take now on the hustle steps for the Magic.
Well, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end guys and have piled up the steals in the early going.
And one thing, Clark, I've noticed is how quick their hands have been tonight. Thanks to that, they've gotten a lot of points off of turnover.
About a minute and a half through the first quarter. Simmons feeling it out a bit. Nice tipped. And it's out of bounds. The 76ers have a return possession here. it 6. And that's a foul called on Money. That is his first foul of the game. With Embiid, modern superstar, knows how to connect with fans using his social media to his advantage. He has got a very charismatic side to him.
He does. I wish he cared a little bit less about it. I don't mean to sound like an Embiid critic, but I think he's very aware of his surroundings at all times. You could do it at the playoff games that I went to in Boston, where he's very aware of the fans, and he's very aware of getting booed and kind of looking around, and I think that's another level that he can go to. Just like, guess what? None of that stuff matters. Just play basketball. You're 7'3", and you're unstoppable. I thought he just needs to be a little more locked in and a little less aware of that other stuff. And I think he needs to be in better shape. You saw in the playoffs, he would peak in the first 3 quarters. By the 4th quarter, I thought he was dead. You could see his hands are on his knees. And the reason he wasn't in great shape was he never come close to playing that many minutes in 4 years. So the key for him is, can he play around 70 games a season? Can he play 30 minutes a game? Can he get to 2,100 minutes for the year? And can he have something left in the tank for the playoffs? Because his conditioning really hurt him against Celtics.
No good on the free throw. And Bill, on the topic of Joel Embiid, sometimes they don't appreciate what a big man has to go through because constant leaning, bumping. I mean, they play a game so different than guys around the perimeter. They don't face that constant guy on you.
Right. And the favorite thing is, some people's bodies maybe aren't meant to play basketball for 20 years, you know? And you watch him, he's 7'3", his giant arms, giant legs. When you watch him run, you kind of feel it. Whereas there's other guys when you watch them run and it just makes sense. Like I still remember seeing KG early in his career. It's like, wow, that dude was going to play basketball. He was just like a gazelle, you know? Giannis is like that. LeBron is like that. Embiid is really tall and he's carrying weight, and there's just a lot of pressure going through his joints, and I just hope he can stay healthy.
Like with Yao.
Yeah, Yao is a great example. Greg Oden. Andrew Bynum, I think, is a really good example. Andrew Bynum was the focal point of the Dwight Howard trade in 2012. He's out of the league 2 years later. So, you start going over 7 feet with these guys, and Kareem is an anomaly. Bill Long, Yao, Ilgauskas, Rick Smith, these are all guys that got injured because they were too tall.
And Philadelphia decides to take their first timeout right here.
And Kevin, they've been committing a lot of turnovers here. Taking care of the basketball is the #1 priority right now in the huddle. They've got to tighten it up.
Bill, the way that super teams are being put together right now, good or bad for the league?
I'm confused. I have been watching this league since I was a kid. We've always had super teams. There's never been an era where we didn't. What do people think the Jordan era Bulls were? Or what do they think the Shaq, Kobe Lakers were? This is how the league is. I think what bothers people this time around specifically is that the Warriors won 73 games.
Bringing it! And from the opening tip, they just crushed it. You see it now on the scoreboard.
Clearly in great rhythm. They've got it going on. I mean, in a big way. Excellent job at establishing a huge lead early on.
And that one is stuck.
This lead, their play calling has been superb, and the execution even better.
Middleton finds Simmons. It's deflected. Stolen by Bamba.
And they've just been so comfortable at both ends of the floor. I mean, you'd almost think they're playing at home.
Yeah, and the confidence really at a high level. Very impressive. They feel like this game.
The attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
And you know what, Greg? They are crushing it on both ends. I mean, in total control right now.
He swipes the ball away again. And that's his 6th steal of the night.
Imposing as well at the defensive end. Starting to surge here, and we're only in the first quarter.
Yeah, and they've come out strong. I mean, clearly, they've been the better team so far.
And the 76ers call time here
And the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they've got to talk about.
Absolutely, Greg. I mean, they're getting crushed, killed, hammered, pulverized in the post.
You've got to look at the teams that have created the most points off turnovers this season. Number 1, the Magic.
And all those points off turnovers have been a huge bonus. I mean, that aggressive defense has also paid dividends at the offensive end of the floor.
And here's Middleton bringing it up now for 76ers. Played in the previous.
And they couldn't get stops when they needed to. The opposition just too comfortable shooting the basketball.
Well, you know what, Greg? When the defense is that lax, come on now. They honestly deserve to lose. You can't let a team get into that kind of a groove.
Bill Commissioner Adam Silver believes the 2K Esports League will have the staying power of the NBA, WNBA. Pretty powerful comment to make.
And I hope he's right, because I want to be the lead color guy. I want us to be the team. Why can't it be us, Kevin Harlan?
Are you kidding me?
Let's do that. Cut me the check. As Rasheed Wallace would say, CTC. Cut the check.
Bill Simmons is here.
I'm ready.
Al Simmons, he had an 18-point outing in the last game against the Raptors in Toronto. And here's Harris from the arc. Poked away. And so it looks like the 76ers will retain possession here.
All right, a chance to check out some stats for Douglas. How's the last month of basketball been for him? Averaging about 7 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. And you look at those numbers, not bad. But, guys, I think he can do better, and he knows it.
And he has high expectations for himself as well, guys, but he just hasn't delivered fully on his potential yet.
Just throw it up there. I mean, Bamba, as long as you time the pass right, he's going to flush that one down.
And Middleton kicks to Simmons. Back to Middleton. Another miss by Philadelphia. Here's Money, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
That's how you take advantage of a transition opportunity.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
All alone, throws down the breakaway jam.
Kevin, for a young player, I like the way Fultz sees the floor. He knows and feels when a guy is open.
Gets it down to Middleton. Embiid trying to break loose. Their offense stone cold. Another miss there. Here's Money, and he jams it with authority.
And that pattern continues, guys. Another heat check, another log on the fire.
Well, they're scorching right now. I mean, the defense has to be concerned. Nothing they're doing is stopping this run.
Bill, several of your books have been bestsellers. How did the Elviss work so well received around the world?
I think I was really happy that the basketball book did well, because I spent a long time writing it. It was 700 pages. And when it got mailed to me, it was so big, I thought people would just be terrified of it. And, you know,
I think they embraced the size.
I think they did. They liked it. I designed it for people to be able to put on their toilet or bring on an airplane or whatever they want to do with it. But I was always amazed that there was kind of group all these other books and some of the opinions and all the misinformation. Like the fact that, honestly, the reason I wanted to write the book was just that people thought Wilt Chamberlain was better than Bill Russell. And yet every single thing written in the 60s was that Bill Russell was better. And all the players would say Bill Russell was better. And when they played together, Bill Russell's team won. So it's like, how do we get to the point where people think Wilt Chamberlain was better? So it was that and some other stuff that made me want to write the book.
And it's a completely new group here for Philadelphia. And so it makes both from the line.
Raw talent Bamba has, just so impressive. A shot blocking specialist who also makes an impact on the offensive end.
Then the pass to Rozier. Chipped away. Now here's Fultz, defended by Lynn, and Fultz gets it to go. Fultz has got his first points in this one. Philadelphia's gone 0-3 from 3-point line, nothing yet going outside. Here's McGruder. The shot. It's rebounded by Fultz.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
Shoots over Lynn. Fultz, no good.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
Pretty clear. They're dominating that area. They've come out with a lot more energy and effort so far.
And it's Gordon finishing it off.
Nobody does it better than Gordon on the alley-oop. Boom!
And for the 76ers, they're shooting pretty great so far, about 23%. Magruder kicks to Rozier. And Aaron Gordon gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Bill, you've done quite a few player interviews over your life, and I'm sure there are some guys that have surprised you with what they've got to say.
Yeah. I think we're in a really cool generation with basketball players where they're these really thoughtful guys who aren't afraid to share stuff. You know, some of the guys try to protect their images and their manufactured reputations, I would say, to some degree, but for the most part, the candidness of some of these guys, you can't hide on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If I have you for an hour, you're not going to be able to dodge stuff. You're going to have to talk.
Well, you challenge people, that's the beauty of the podcast.
Well, and I don't have notes, so I do it. I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, and we're going. And
That's
you
how
got to be ready.
That's how Larry King used to
Yeah.
do it.
So some guys are ready. Like Durant was great. Durant was ready to talk, and we did 5 podcasts, and everything's on the table with him. But my favorites are somebody like Kyrie came in, really smart.
Oh, wow! Are you? Oh, my goodness! Boy, I like how Gordon dishes the ball. When his teammates are open, he finds them on time and on target.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession. '76ers moving the ball around.
And you know what, call it great defense or a poor offense, either way, they're limiting their scoring.
Greg, bottom line is, they're ahead on the scoreboard, and that's all that matters.
Back to Isaac. From the arc. Claims the three-pointer. Isaac's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game.
And their offense already in a flow, some stellar shooting to jump out to this league.
Quality looks they're getting, and they're capitalizing on them, guys. They have to be happy with this start offensively.
Here's Rozier. They could use a bucket, and it's blocked by Gordon.
Good defensive instincts there displayed by Gordon. Reading the shooter all the way and timing the rejection perfectly. And sometimes, you don't capitalize off a good shot or a good look. Still, you got to keep letting those good looks fly.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
And here's Rozier. He brings it up for Philadelphia. Their last meeting was in Orlando, where they were unable to fight off the Magic.
And they'll want to show that they're a much better team than they demonstrated last time out against these guys. At the very least, avoid another blowout.
And it really was the turnover, the blowout. I mean, a lot of questionable, poor decisions by them with the ball. And when that happens, you can get blasted.
Philadelphia's gone 0-4 from three-point land to start out, looking cold from outside. We know about the love affair you have with the NBA, and you've written about it for so long. Started with the $4 ticket in Boston with your dad.
Yeah, my dad bought season tickets for the 1973-74 Boston Celtics, and it was only one ticket. And I think it was $4 a game, probably like $160 total. And he used to carry me in mainly because they didn't want to pay for a babysitter. So I started going to games that year, probably sleeping through a lot of them, and they won the title.
How old were you in '72?
So I was 4.
4 years old.
I I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember anything from that season. The first season I remember is the year later when they lost before the finals to Washington, and then the year later they won the famous finals against Phoenix, the triple overtime game. I was there.
Was Collins on the team?
Collins, Havlicek,
Yep.
JoJo White.
Yep.
And I was at the triple overtime game in the 76 finals. It was probably the most coolest NBA game ever. Of the, the kids out there now would nominate like Game 7 2016 or something. Triple overtime game was the most famous game ever. And I slept through the entire second half and the first overtime.
Oh no!
But then woke up because everybody was standing the whole second overtime, so I had to go.
And after missing 4 straight, he finally gets one to go.
Here's Money. He had a career game last time out. Bucket after bucket. And the basket by Isaac.
Yeah, those are starting to add up, guys. Their last 4 baskets, 3 have been triples.
Isaac's gone 3 of 3 from the arc. 9 points on that long-range shot of his. Magruder passes to Davis. Ball's knocked loose. 6 on the shot clock. And that's a foul. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. He'll head to the line for 2. 76ers have gone 1 for 2 on the night so far from the line.
And taking a look at their free throw statistics on the season, right around 74%.
And guys, you know what? That's made things hard for them in a lot of their games. I mean, that inability to convert their chances at the free throw line. And Jeremy Lin, I don't think he's a confident guy who plays at both guard spots.
On pass to Gordon, takes the alley-oop pass and dunks it down.
Oh, such a beautiful pass to set that up.
The pass might have been pretty, but the finish was angry.
Well, you need both to make it special. And they pulled it off just right.
And the basket by Rozier.
And the awareness from Lin, outstanding. A true point guard who really sees the floor well.
Here's Fultz. Trying to answer back, but that is off the mark. Rozier pass to Magruder. Holden. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. This is his first chance at the line tonight.
Not the best statistic for him in terms of his performance at the line. Very low numbers.
His performance at the foul line this season might be the first thing he points to as a priority to improve.
That free throw, no good. He hits the second from the line. 5 seconds left in the first quarter. He nails the buzzer beater.
And money to end the quarter there with the triple.
They knew exactly what they wanted to do right there, Greg, and the timing was right on time.
And that's it for the first quarter in what's been a very lopsided game. Magic out in front, running away with it. And don't go away. We'll be back with the action for the start of the second quarter in just a moment. A native of Cameroon, Joel Embiid talks about making a quick transition to the United States.
Not knowing English, obviously at the beginning it was a little bit hard to express myself. Obviously I can speak English perfectly now, so that's a plus, and I'm just being myself.
And that unique sense of humor, Greg, is a specialty of Embiid's.
He's a fun-loving guy who's become a must-follow on social media. And the transition he's made has been remarkable.
And welcome back as we continue our Christmas Day matchup. And for the Magic here, they've been putting on a show, guys.
I mean, a solid first quarter, especially looking at that plus turnover ratio.
Yeah, everything is sharp. I mean, nothing forced, precise passes, taking care of the ball. That's good stuff.
Jeremy Lin's out there with Rozier. Then there's Davis, and it's Magruder in at the 3 set. That's the group for Philadelphia to start the second quarter. Orlando's gotten all but one of the 3-pointers to go down in this game. They've gone 7 of 8 so far. Bill, with last year's do-or-die season finale between Minnesota and Denver, final game of the regular season, momentum is gathering for a play-in tournament, maybe for the last 2 playoff spots. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I wrote about this in 07. I called it the entertaining assault tournament, where basically the first 7 seeds were guaranteed, and the 16 teams that didn't make it out of the 2 conferences, they just went head-to-head, single elimination, and then you have the final 2 games in New York City, and you blow it out, and you have a fun thing with it. I think that Minnesota-Denver game was important, and maybe the solution is, the 6 seeds guaranteed in each conference, and then you have 7, 8, 9, 10 in each conference, and you just have playing games. You have 7 versus 10, you have 8 versus 9. You do it over the course of a couple days. Use the TV revenue from that, because you could get good money from that, to maybe shorten the season.
Great
which
idea.
Would be, for me, the number one thing I would change about the league. I think we should have a 70-game season. You could talk me into 76, but there's too many games. If there's too many nights where the players, I just think basketball is really hard to play.
Just 5 to shoot. And that's out of bounds. Philadelphia will retain possession. And here's a shot chart now, getting a better perspective on where he's been shooting the ball from.
Well, this is what you wanted to see from him. I mean, he's not settling for anything, and it's going right at the defender, taking the ball to the rim whenever he can. And the attitude he's had on offense is keeping his team flying around, as his energy is contagious out there right now.
We were talking about the length of the NBA season and various opinions on shortening it. I suppose, Bill, one argument is that you want regular season games to be more significant, and you want the regular season to mean something.
Mean a little bit more. Yeah. Make the pace, I don't know. When you get after the All-Star break, you can really feel these guys slogging through. You know, and especially with the good teams, like a team like Golden State. All they did all year was whine and complain. Oh, well, we knew this would be a hard season. Give me that hard. You have 4 of the best 20 players. Like, settle down. I think you'll be fine. You're winning every game by 30 points. Yeah. But I wish they would play this season.
Oh, great ball movement there.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. That's tipped. Inside, Rozier. The basket good off the assist from Simmons. Simmons got an assist with that last one here tonight.
You got to recognize Simmons is a pass-first guy, which is why you can't leave somebody open around.
And Simmons with the rebound.
Good interior D there prevents the deuce.
And, you know, that's not easy at all. When guys get this close to the bucket, it's tough to stop the basket. And that's solid defense, rock solid, contesting without fouling. Well done.
And the basket by Gordon.
Boy, I like seeing Gordon work on that jump shot of his. He's going to need to knock it down consistently at his position to be one of the best in the league.
Harris kicks to Simmons. And now a chance to see what's on Tuesday. On kickoff and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then on Thursday, they'll start out on the road and play the Timberwolves in Minnesota.
And for that game, that's going to be a lot of errors and maybe to go wrong. They just have that much of an advantage over that team. And he has just been in a flow offensively. Terrific game. He has been the X factor.
Poked away. It's stolen by Fultz. And here we go. Fast break. Fultz got it. Rozier with the steal.